The first step in making the pastry cream is adding the cornstarch to the eggs and whisking them together along with 1/4 cup of the half and half. Once the eggs are mixed in with the cornstarch, they're much more protected against overheating because this mixture is going to actually come to a boil. The rest of the half and half is going to be mixed in with the sugar and the vanilla bean and the salt. And what I'm going to do is take this vanilla bean that I've already split in half and rub the vanilla bean in the sugar. And that way, otherwise that bean clumps up and it's so hard to get all the soft, wonderful flavors out of it. Whenever you see those little black specks in ice cream and pastry cream, you know it's vanilla bean. It's going to be something special. So now I'm adding the remaining cream. When the mixture comes to a boil, turn down the heat to low and take about 2 tablespoons and beat it into the egg mixture with a whisk. And this starts cooking the egg ever so slightly, which thickens that white part that's kind of gummy. And then when I strain it, it will be left in the strainer, and that's what makes the pastry cream silky smooth. It also tempers the egg so that when I return it to the mixture, they won't curdle. You can see that there's the scuzzy stuff that's left in the strainer. We just leave that behind. And now whisking, I'm returning this egg mixture with the cornstarch to the pan where I'm going to heat it until it gets very, very thick. And the cornstarch will not thicken until it comes back to a boil. So it has to come to a full boil for the cornstarch to really do its job. And that will take about 2 minutes, stirring constantly and going well into the corner of the pan because otherwise it could start to burn before it thickens. When it's beginning to bubble is when it starts getting really silky and thick. And now is when I whisk in the butter. This gives it extra silkiness and enrichment. And that gets whisked in. And now immediately I'm going to transfer it to another bowl for it to cool. In order for it to cool so that it doesn't form a skin, you have to put a piece of plastic wrap directly down on top of it. And let it cool at room temperature. When it's cool, put it right in the refrigerator. And I have here some cooled pastry cream. Look how beautiful and thick it is with lots of little vanilla beans. And I have whipped cream. And I'm going to take 1/4 cup of the whipped cream and mix it into the pastry cream to lighten it. Because when I add it to the bananas, I don't want to lose all the volume of the whipped cream. And the pastry cream is so thick that unless I lighten it and soften it with the whipped cream, it's going to break down all of that whipped cream. We have 6 ripe bananas, but they're not overly ripe because they have to hold up when they're folded into into the pastry cream. And besides, they're more delicious when they're not too sweet for this pastry cream. So I'm going to add the lemon juice and the orange juice, both freshly squeezed, because that keeps them from browning, and also the orange juice is milder than the lemon juice, so it gives it a better flavor, I think. I don't want them to be too tart. And then I'm going to empty them out onto paper towels so that they don't water down the pastry cream. And now I'm going to empty them back into the bowl to mix the pastry cream in with them. You can see how the whipped cream really softened the pastry cream. Just fold the two together. Now I've folded the bananas into the pastry cream, and I'm going to empty them into a waiting pie shell. Put as many as will fit. Now this is not the kind of pie that you, tempting as it may be, want to bring on a long trip to a family Thanksgiving or holiday. You can do it, just don't put the whipped cream on top, because I did, and when we stopped short, when we opened the trunk, the entire whipped cream topping had floated, jumped, leapt off of the pie and into the trunk. So that's how you learn. And now I have some softly whipped cream, and I'm going to mount it on top. So now with a little metal spatula, I'm making beautiful opulent swirls. But should I want to really gild the lily, I'll use some white chocolate curls. And that's when I said that I sometimes paint the bottom of the crust with white chocolate. That way we have a white chocolate bottom and a white chocolate top. Now if the curls are whole, depending on the temperature of the room, you can lift them with a wooden skewer so that the heat of your hands doesn't melt them. Or you can dip your fingers into ice water so that they won't start melting them. Because most hand temperature starts melting chocolate very quickly, especially when it's as thin as this. But as you see, I'm also just kind of sprinkling them right from the bowl. So this is my Banner banana cream pie. Don't forget to use real vanilla bean in your pastry cream cheese in your flaky pie crust, perfectly ripe bananas, and white chocolate curls, and you'll have yourself a great treat.